Alright, so we're going to be looking at the squat, hang clean, and power clean today. With squat, essentially there's a bunch of different variations you could do. There's the overhead squat, there's the front squat, there's the back squat. Most traditional is going to be your back squat. So when you look at back squat, you're going to be looking at the bar position. You could either do high bar back squat or low bar back squat. Ultimately, it just depends on function. With high bar back squat, it's going to be more transferable over to sports, so more of your vertical jump. Whereas low bar back squat, that's going to be more for your Ollie lifters and power lifters. Essentially, it's going to save your posterior chain with fatigue, and you could essentially lift heavier weights if you're doing competition with Ollie and powerlifting. So just going over both, you just want to start with a base of support that's about shoulder width apart. As you come down, you're going to be pushing your butt back, coming down all the way. You want to make sure that this angle right here is about 90 degrees and coming back up. And so when you go down for your squat, your knees are allowed to go over your toes. There's some myths about that you shouldn't allow your knees to go over your toes. That's wrong, and it's always going to be wrong. You want to have your toes pointed out a little bit. So essentially the cue that you could give to your athlete is have your knees follow your toes. So if you watch, my knees are going in the direction of my toes. So this would be considered a high bar back squat. Low bar is where you're going to come down in the same position, but you can allow your trunk to come a little bit more forward. So when you come down, trunk's a little more forward. You don't have to go down as far. High bar, trunk stays a little more up. There's the overhead squat. Essentially, bar's just overhead. And then there's the front squat. It's kind of difficult to do it right now because the bar's not loaded, but you're just loading the bar in front. When we move to hang clean, essentially you want a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. When you hold the bar, I like to tell people to kind of rotate their arms in. That's going to allow them to have their arms internally rotated, but it keeps their elbows close to their body. So if you're just out like this, you have a tendency to have your elbows flare out. So rotate your arms in, wrists in, maintain contact with the bar. So when you come down for hang clean, you come down to the knees about an inch or two below. You come back up. You're going to shrug your shoulders and then snap your wrists through, essentially catching the bar. The only difference between hang clean and power clean is you're going to start from the ground coming up. So there's your first pull coming up to your knees. Second pull, you're going to come back. Third pull, you're coming through. So hang clean, essentially you're skipping the first two pulls. You're just coming down to your second pull. You're going to start, and then you do your third pull. Power clean, you're going through every single pull. And then it's just coming down to your squat fundamentals, catching the bar. So if you come down for a power clean, you're going to come up, go through all your pulls, you're going to catch it. The weight will probably force you down, and then you just stand back up for a squat. So power clean just means you catch it above 90 degrees for a squat. That's about it.